So it looks like Zuffa Boxing might be in big trouble. They might be over before they even started because Frank Warren is suing for $1 billion TKO and Seller for going behind his back to form Zuffa Boxing because he claims they had an exclusivity agreement, which essentially means if you sign that with someone, you cannot go and do business with other companies. And Frank Warren reckons that he could be losing out on $1 billion in revenue because of this new deal. Because obviously, you got Turkey who's putting all of his money into Zuffa Boxing. Like we just saw the other week with the Conor Benn signing of 15 million. All right, if you forgot. All right, 15 million for Conor Benn, a fighter that no one outside the UK knows or cares about. And we got Frank Warren here, who basically is saying, you know what? You're being a shady businessman. I'm going to sue you for $1 billion. I love it. We're going to read some details, and then we're just going to look at, all right, because I know a few people have talked about it already. And if you've seen my members-only rant, my initial reaction to the news, I went mental. But I just want to break some shit down, like even more so in this video, to say why this is so... It is... I just love this. I love the fact that Frank Warren is suing the company that funds Zuffa Boxing because Dana White needs a bit of fucking karma, alright? I'm sick of Dana White running around flaunting like he's this big fucking... Like he's got these big balls, like his big bald Dana White with his big little testicles, alright? No. This is karma for you not putting any effort into the UFC, alright? Not caring about your UFC fighters, putting boxers first, power slap first, Zuffa Boxing first, even UFC BJJ, you're probably more interested in that than the actual UFC. This is karma for you not caring about your company and your fighters that helped you get to where you are today. I love to see this. Also, let me know what you think about this new layout I'm just trying out for this video. If you like this layout, it's a bit different, let me know. But we're going to get straight into this, alright? So, Warren's British-based Queensbury promotion have sent letters to Saudi Arabia's Seller and TKO's group holding stating its intention to sue both for breach of contract over the formation of Zuffa Boxing. So this is what I'm telling her. So this is what I was talking to you about earlier, about the exclusivity agreements, right? Which basically means Seller and TKO to form up Zuffa Boxing. Alright. And Frank Warren's not happy about it. Because they had according to Frank, an exclusive deal, alright, to work with Frank. And now they're going to form their own boxing company. But Frank is not happy, alright. Queensberry is seeking up to $1 billion for the income the promotion alleges it would have earned had its contractual agreements been honoured. $1 billion he's suing for. He reckons he would have made that much money. I don't know about that. I mean, maybe boxing makes a lot of money, but $1 billion seems a bit crazy to me. But hey, bleed them dry, fish eyes. That's what I say. Queensberry claimed it signed an exclusivity agreement with Seller in September 2023 for operational expertise. Queensberry also claims it had a separate agreement with TKO that gave TKO access to data, including details of Queensberry's contract with Seller. Alright. Warren maintains that information was privileged. So he's not only just working with Seller, he's working with TKO as well. This is crazy. If this is true, and Seller and TKO have just like broken their contract with Frank Warren and just said, you know what, we're gonna set up Zuffa Boxing with Zuffa, then yeah, you've breached your contract, I guess. I mean, I don't know the ins and outs of everything, you know, like their contract, but it is what it is. And Seller and TKO inked a 5-year deal with each other and formed Zuffa Boxing in June. Without Queensberry's involvement, Seller denies Warren's claims. Kind of crazy. So both these companies that Warren was signed up with have worked together to set up Zuffa Boxing, alright, breaking the exclusivity agreement that Warren claims that they had. Crazy. We are this a representative from Seller said we are disappointed by the unfounded claims brought by Queensberry and Frank. We reject them in their entirety and are confident in the facts will vindicate our position. But you know, this is just basically they're denying it. Frank saying no, we had an agreement. You're going out. You're going back on the agreement. You scumbags! Why are you doing this to me, little fish eyes Frank with a dint in the forehead? And this to me is just music to my ears. For far too long, Dana White's been getting away with shit. I know he's not suing Dana White, but if Frank Warren wins this lawsuit against Seller and TKO, this could be detrimental to Zuffa Boxing. And Dana White's little baby that he's just birthed, literally just started this year, could already be coming crumbling down. And you know what? I think it's karma. I think it's sweet karma. And I love it. I love it because Dana White has been parading around, all right, not giving a fuck about the UFC or the fighters in the company, all right, underpaying them for years. And we'll get into that, about the revenue splits and everything like that. We're going to get into it all today. And, you know, setting up power slap, all right, focusing on his bull playmate in the fucking, like, doing his fucking bull riding in a PBR, gambling with Steinberg from the Nelk boys. You know, Zuffa Boxing now, he's so checked out of the UFC, all right, that this is music to my ears because if Zuffa Boxing goes down because fucking TKO and Seller have to fork out $1 billion, then ha Dana. Ha. Prick. Anyway, this Dana White thought was his big moment, right? Signing Conor Benn for $15 million. Big whoop-de-doo, Dana. All right, we got Conor Benn for $15 million, guys. Woohoo! Oh, yeah, look at us. Shitting on all the boxers. Go, what's that, Eddie? Let me shit on your face. No. Frank's coming to shit on your face, Dana White, with his $1 billion lawsuit, all right? He thought he was hot shit. He really did. And you know what? It blew up, didn't it? It blew up like a big fat fucking diarrhea shit in your trousers, Dana, didn't it, mate? Because big fucking fish eyes Frank's coming in to take everything. And I love it. But on this, and I know people talk about it already. Like I said, if you've seen my live, my members only video on this, all right, when I initially saw the news, I was going crazy, ranting. It's going to be a more, like, thought-out, thorough, in-depth breakdown of why this is utter dog shit, all right? And a few fighters have come out and mentioned things about this. MVP spoke out about it. Demetrious Johnson spoke out about it. And Sean O'Malley has spoken out about it. We're also going to have a look at the revenue splits that the UFC fighters get and what some of their highest paid athletes, like Conor McGregor, got paid per fight. Breaking news, nowhere near $15 million. Conor McGregor, the biggest combat sports athlete, all right, the most famous UFC fighter of all time, didn't get anywhere close to $15 million. He got less than half, according to these numbers, for one fight. But anyway, we're going to get straight into it with MVP. This was his take on the signing of Conor Benn. Okay. He's not happy about it, and I don't blame him. I'm not either. Okay, because let's put it this way, right? Conor Benn comes in for one fight for 15 mil. That's all, you know, whatever. All right. Zuffa Boxing might get a lot of viewership for that one card, but then it's for one fight, and then he's a free agent. Who's to say that he resigns? He might just fuck off. I mean, we've seen what his loyalty's like. He isn't loyal to Eddie Hearn. After all the shit that Eddie did for him, standing by him through drugs, you know, drugs failures and shit like that. Well, he didn't give a fuck. He don't care. So he could just win the belt, which I think he will. Like look, Conor Benn is very good. He's just not that big of a name. Like, he's only big in the UK, really, and he's not even that big. He's just well known because he's Nigel Benn's son, and he had 2 fights with Chris Eubank Jr. That's all he's known for, to be honest. All right, but Michael Venom Page breaks it down. Okay, he breaks it down, and like I was saying, big name in the UK, but not worth 15 mil. Let's see what MVP says though.
I wanted to ask you, with your ties to the UK, some of the biggest news last week was Benn signing with Zuffa Boxing. What was your reaction when you saw him going over and the price tag attached with it?
I feel like everyone's trying to get me in trouble here. Yeah, it's not something that.
Well, look how careful he's being. Just be honest. Just say it's bullshit. It's actual bullshit that Benn's coming over getting paid 15 mil, and MVP's even a big name. Like, he's a really big name, really well known, and I bet he's getting paid fuck all. I bet he's earning less than what he made in Bellator. I guarantee that's true.
I'm happy about. So what I would say is, when the announcement of the Paramount, big money partnership came, people was asking me, how do you, excited about this? And my answer was, well, what does that mean for the fighters? Until we understand how that's going to translate to the fighters, there's nothing to really be excited about. And then, I heard about the if you want to call it an increase in bonus structure, and
which, bearing in mind, should have increased a long time ago. And if you really do adjust for inflation, because this 50K bonus has been around for so long, if you really adjusted for inflation, all right, the bonuses should really be about 200K. They really should be. All right, they were 50K a long time ago. They've been 50K for like 10 years. Inflation, oh my, come on. These 50K bonuses are worth nothing, really, in the grand scheme of things. It should be now about 200K, really, if we're really going to even it out, but carry on, carry on, Michael.
This is why I wasn't bothered to be excited initially, because for me, that doesn't do enough comparatively to the amount of money that they've just brought in for themselves.
Yeah, exactly. $7.7 billion. And I've gone, you know what, kid? 100K bonus. Oh, that's cool, Dana. 25K if you finish someone. Great. You've just been paid $7.7 billion, and the revenue split's still fucking about 13%, which we'll look at. These bonuses are like peanuts to the UFC. Give them an incentive. Like the fucking bonuses at UFC 300 were $300,000. That was crazy. They should be that regularly. At least make it like 250K. Do $250,000. That'd make it worth it, man. 100K is not enough, really. It's really not.
And then to see, obviously, Dana White, he's always been quite excited about going into the kind of the boxing world and kind of doing other things like the slap fighting and all that kind of stuff. But then to see it and how quickly he values people away from, how highly he values people away from the sport that kind of built his reputation. It's just upsetting, to be fair. It's disappointing more than anything. And that's probably all I'll say on that.
And that's the main point, all right? Dana White built the UFC up from scratch. Built it up, all right? This is his baby. This is his, pride and joy, the UFC. All these fighters that fight for the UFC, for Dana White. And he just is like, you know what? Rico Van Hooven, one of the greatest kickboxers of all time. 12 for 12. Or whatever it was. 12 for 12, kid. Benn, what? A fighter no one's ever heard of? Oh, 15 million. That makes no sense. Rico Van Hooven, man. You could have had him in the heavyweight division, a division that needs saving so bad. It so drastically needs saving, and you're offering one of the greatest kickboxers of all time, undefeated for over 10 years. He's been champion for over 10 years, and you've gone 12 for 12, kid. Take it or leave it. Like, and now he's off go. And now he's going off and doing boxing, where he's going to earn fucking miles more. You fucking idiot, Dana White. That's what MVP says. He values fighters, all right, like Conor Benn, who no one knows, which we'll get into. DJ's never heard of him. Sean O'Malley's never heard of him, all right. They value these people, all right, more than their own kind. You know what I mean? It's just fucking mental. And we've got DJ's take here, all right. DJ's take. Let's let this play through because it's only 30 seconds and then we'll react.
And, $15 million for one fight. It's crazy because what's going to happen after this fight, right? Is the $15 million worth having Conor Benn? It's the first time I've heard of him. From what everybody tells me, he's a very good boxer. But is Khamzat Chimaev making $15 million? Is Ilia Topuria making $15 million? Merab Dvalishvili making $15. We don't know because those numbers are always hidden. But I truly believe it's a flex from Dana White paying Conor Benn $15 million. And,
speaking of how much fighters earn, all right, I had to look up 20 highest earning UFC fighters from 2025. All right, number one was Drickers. Bear in mind, total earnings, 7.1 million. All right. Wait till you see Merab, right? Because he's number two. 6.8 million. He had 4 championship fights. 4 championship fights. He made 6.8 million. Conor Benn, not even a champion. Not even a worldwide known name. Not a household name. All right, you look at fighters from the UK. Tyson Fury, all right. Anthony Joshua. People know these guys. Lennox Lewis. Everyone knows these guys worldwide. No one knows Conor Benn. He's getting 15 mil for one fight. Merab, fighter of the year last year, the GOAT, carried the fucking sport on his back all year. 4 title fights, 6.8 million. Not even half of what Conor Benn's making for one fight. Alex Pereira, 2 title fights. All right, 2 title fights. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 2 title fights, 6.5 million. Conor Benn, fucking Islam Makhachev, double champ. All right, double champ, by the way. 3.5 million. Tom Aspinall, 3.5 million. I mean, that's pretty good for Tom. One fight, didn't really end that well. Can't complain of that. Ilia Topuria, 3.5 million. And you've got Conor Benn. If I were these guys in the top 6, all right, I would be storming Dana White's office saying, "Give me a better fucking deal, you fat bald cunt." That's what I'd be saying. And then we got Sean O'Malley too. He has the same sort of take as DJ. Never heard of him. Never heard of this guy.
Zuffa Boxing is something that's taken over from Turkey. Turkey's his name. He's like a prince or some shit in out in Dubai or something. Like hundreds of billions of dollars. They're paying out. I don't even know who Conor Benn is.
I don't know.
He supposedly is a pretty big name in boxing. But I never heard of him. Crazy.
So I mean, never heard of it. How is Sean O'Malley, someone that's so in with combat sports, same as DJ, so in with combat sports, that they are hardcore fans? They've never heard of Conor Benn. Never heard of him. Not one time. Apart from now. Well, apparently he's a really good boxer, man. Over in the UK. All right, but hardcore athletes never heard of Conor Benn. Kind of shows really how wide his reach is, which isn't very far.
Easy, bro. Yeah, they really paid this is Ben Johns?
Connor
Ben.
Benn.
Connor. They really paid him $15 million. It's like,
I wouldn't blame you for going to box.
yeah, it's crazy how you just put.
Okay, but here's the thing, right? Dana White would not pay Sean O'Malley 15 mil to come over to Zuffa. That's the thing. If Sean O'Malley said to Dana, all right, Dana, I want to fight in Zuffa. I want 15 million. Dana would say, get out of here, kid. Because he's already paying him less than that to fight in the UFC. Why would he want to pay Sean O'Malley 15 mil to go box in Zuffa, all right, when he's already got him in the UFC under contract? I mean, look, he's still earning millions, but in comparison, he's a much bigger name than Conor Benn, all right, worldwide. He's a much bigger name than Conor Benn is, much more well known, all right. Sells out probably more than Conor Benn will. I mean, considering Conor Benn's fighting in the Meta Apex, but that's another thing. 15 million for a fighter who's fighting in the Meta Apex. They're not even doing arenas for this thing. Maybe they will as a one-off, all right, for Conor Benn. But as it stands now, he's fighting for 15 million in the Meta Apex. It's kind of crazy. It's wild.
Put in so much work in the UFC, to build this name, create this character, be this star. It's like, I'm not making fucking $15 million fight. It's also a business. If they think that's a good business move and that guy's going to bring in money, it's like, I get it. I don't take anything personal in business. Business is business. He fucking hates Oscar De La Hoya. He hates Eddie Hearn. He hates these people. He's like, hey, let's take their biggest star and pay him, even if it's $15 million for, like, I could see it being out of like an ego thing. I guess it's a business thing too. You bring in a legit guy.
Yeah.
Again, I've never
15
really
million
heard of
to a
him.
billionaire's shit.
But Zuffa Boxing is.
I think it was just a fucking flex move, to be honest. I think it was just I think DJ's right. It's just a flex power move from Dana White. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's literally only that, in my opinion. You know, and then we have Justin Gaethje as well, man. All right, we have Gaethje. Who remembers this from Justin Gaethje from 324?
Oh, man. To have 14 bonuses and not equal up to $1 million, it's not right. It's not right. It should be a lot more than that. And I should have had opportunities to do smarter things with my money, but I don't, and I haven't. And to this day, everyone's, I hear Daniel Cormier saying that everybody's going to get paid more on this card. I'm not getting $1 more than I would have if this deal did not happen.
Which is insane. 14 bonuses. Bearing in mind he got a bonus, I believe, for Fight of the Night at UFC 300. They've not added up to 1 million. 14 fight bonuses, all right, not even added up to 1 million. And he didn't get paid $1 more for the Paramount deal. And Dana White says, look, kid, we tried to call him, and we offered him more money, but he just didn't answer. He just didn't respond. Bullshit. Actual bullshit, Dana White. When it's just the pay is ridiculous. And here we go here. So this is the revenue split that like we're talking about, and it's shit. This is why the UFC fighters don't get fuck all. So fighters like Conor McGregor, Anderson Silva, and John Jones will earn about $2 million to $7 million per fight from 2011 till 2016. But still, all right, Conor McGregor, let's say that he earned $7 million, all right, the high end of it. That's still not even half of what Conor Benn's making in Zuffa Boxing. And I know it's Saudi's money, but the point still stands. Dana White thinks that Conor Benn is worth that money, all right? It's Dana White that's like scouting for these fucking names for his little boxing corporation, all right? He thinks Conor Benn is worth 15 mil, and he's gone to Turkey and said, hey, Turkey, can I have 15 million, please, bud? And Turkey's gone, oh, yes, you can. Here, hold my hand whilst we walk, you little cook. And then we've got this as well, the revenue split. NBA, 51%. You know, NHL, 50%. NFL, 48. MLB, 45. UFC, 13 to 4. Let's just say it's 14.5, just to be generous. That's fucking shite. 14.5% of a revenue split compared to all the, like, NBA's over half, man. 7.7 billion. And you're doing That's fucking crazy. And this is another one here. Volkanovski, all right, renegotiated his contract last year for a recent reported pay of 750K. If Volk made that for every single UFC fight, 16 of them, he would have made 8 million less than Ngannou did yesterday. And I believe you can add it up on your calculator if you want. I did it the other day. I can't remember. I'm just gonna say, if Volk got paid 750K for each fight, which he hasn't done, it's still less than Conor Benn. It's still less by like 2 or 3 million than Conor Benn's getting for this Zuffa Boxing match. What the fuck? It's insane. It's crazy. And you got, Sean Strickland from the other day, or the other week even, all right, talking about the UFC pay scale, how it's predatory and shit like that. It's awful.
Were you excited to see the new bonuses announced with the Paramount Plus deal, or?
No, fucking bonuses. No one's getting paid fucking more. What's the new bonus? 150? The UFC is, as far as the pay scale, there is no, you compare it to any other sporting event, the UFC is the most fucked up. If you compare it to like pay versus athletes versus what they're making, there is no argument there. It's not fair. And this
is what we were on about earlier. Look. How much they make compared to how much goes to the athletes. 51%. Basically all pretty much half. You got the UFC 14.5%. It's pathetic. That's what Sean's talking about there.
Predatory, there is no argument there. Now we're a bunch of fucking idiots who take our clothes off and go fight for fucking, shorten our lives for this. So like, do we deserve better? I don't fucking know. There's no argument here. The UFC is not it's predatory. Well,
I'm bearing in mind that's one of the biggest stars in the company saying that. One of the biggest stars in Sean Strickland saying that it's predatory and it's not fair. Oh, I really hope this lawsuit goes through. This will fucking show Dana White where he needs to fucking, this is karma for Dana White and Zuffa Boxing. I'm telling you now.
I would just like it to match any other sporting event. Any other sporting event on how much they're making, we should get paid. Like what I'm saying is like, let's say the NFL they give 70% of the profits to the, I'm making this up, profits to the players. The UFC should do the same, but it won't because it's predatory. But again, we take our fucking clothes off, we get hit in the head like assholes, so maybe we deserve this. You say no to a fight, well, guess what? They're going to go find some fucking guy in some fucking sand pit. They'll do it for fucking 5-5. That's why you're slowly going to see the American roster die.
It's true. It is true. Like, what, you don't want to take that fight? All right. Or who's going to take fucking 10 for 10 and stepping on short notice to get your fucking head caved in? 10 for 10, and then you got to pay your manager, your nutritionist, you got to pay your camp, you got to pay your taxes. And after all that, you've got obviously your utility bills and shit for your house and your rent and this and that. And you're not seeing any of that, really. I mean, you'll see a bit, but not a lot of it.
Because it's like outsourced by like people that fucking what are they signing guys 10 and 10? I mean, how much is fucking rent in Vegas? Like 2,000, 1,600, 1,400. So it's like once you pay your managers, your taxes, like how the fuck are you supposed to live on that? Like, well, you could fight 4 times a year, okay, so you go 3-1. Like no, you'll make more money at fucking Walmart, dude, if you're being a Stein. But that's what the UFC wants, man. It's all just like fucking corporate, fucking predatory. It's how it goes, dude. Why do I want to go compete with a Brazilian where he could go make money and live pretty nicely to where you can't do that in America?
That is true. I mean, Brazil, it costs a lot less to live there. And if you're making, I guess, let's say 12 for 12, you're going to be much better off living in Brazil than you are in the US because everything costs so much fucking money over there. But what Sean's saying is bang on. It's really, really bang on. It's not fair. It's predatory, all right? And they need to really sort it out. And this is why people, especially UFC fighters, are not happy with this deal here. They're not happy with it because it's bullshit. You've got UFC fighters that are struggling to literally pay rent and live, but you have Dana White signing Conor Benn for $15 million. And this is why I really do hope this lawsuit goes through, because if this goes through, this could be the end of Zuffa Boxing, or it could, if not the end, it's going to take a really big hit because Turkey He's going to have to fork out $1 billion to Fish Eyes Frank. If this goes through, if it legitimately goes through, and it's not just an empty threat, okay, I'll be very interested to see this happen. And this is just karma, in my opinion, for Dana White. Dana White prioritizing Zuffa fucking Boxing over his own company in the UFC that he's built up from scratch, and the fighters that have stood by him. You know, you've got Moicano that turns down the lawsuit money. For what? To get booked in the Meta Apex main event. Brilliant. How's that working out for you, Moicano, you fucking clown? Don't be a company man for the UFC because they don't care about you. All right? And that's the bottom line. All right, like and subscribe. My link's down below. Become a member, join the Discord. Until next time, I'll see you in a bit. Let's go, Fish Eyes Frank.